Hi, my name is Dave Rice, and I'd like to bring you a little tutorial on the Hammond organ and some of the settings that you might want to use in jazz, rock and roll, blues, and various settings. I'm a Hammond guy all the way. This is a Hammond C3 from the 1960s, and behind me is a Leslie 122, which is the classic 15 and horn Leslie cabinet. So this is C3 and 122 Leslie. I also have 3 of the SK1s, and I have an M3 and I have an XK3 that I use in the recording studio. So I really love Hammond organs. I don't use this on a gig because it's so heavy. I leave it here. I take the SK1s, which are great for when I'm playing out, and use them through Leslie also. And the registration is determined by these drawbars. So the registration on these drawbars is identical to that of the SK1. The SK1 is really portable, and it's great for playing out. This is the classic used in recordings and large concert stages, but not very movable. Okay, so we have we have 2 manuals on this one. This is intended for soloing, and then we have the pedal board. So I'm going to grab the camera and show you some of my favorite settings. So one of the common mistakes that people make when they play Hammond organ is they'll put way too much in, and they'll have all the drawbars out all the time, and they'll have the Leslie speed on fast all the time. So I've heard a lot of people, just play organ like this with which there's a place for it. But that's the only way they play the organ is like that, and that doesn't work for very many uses. You want to use the fast and the slow and the Leslie against each other. One of the things that I do for jazz is I set the lower manual where I only pull 2 of the drawbars out, and I don't pull them out all the way. I pull them out to, I'm going to show you these settings in a minute. I pull them out to 6 or 7, as opposed to the upper manual, which I pull out all the way to 8, the first and the third. So these I'll bring it back in so that this manual is not as loud as the solo manual. This is the great manual, and the swell is the one on the up here. So you can see that that one is much louder than this one. So you want your solo manual to be louder than your comp, because this one we're gonna comp. So I'm going to show you some settings. Right now I have 1 and 3 out, and if I pull 1, 2, 3 out, which is a Jimmy Smith setting, you see it has a little more mid-range to it. But again, and a lot of times what people do is on the pedal board they use it to accent. I mean, some guys kick the notes on the lip, but some use it just that you can hear them accenting. I'm accenting the downbeats. So now this is a nice setting for jazz, for comping, because it's dark and it gives me plenty of tone to play with here. And then when I go up to the solo manual, this is considerably louder. But still, I don't have many of the drawbars out. Now I would like to show you one more setting, and this is what I call my kind of church gospel setting, And this is also used on slow blues a lot, and that's this setting. So it has a lot of highs and a lot of lows and not very much mid-range. Now I'm going to reach around and grab the camera and show you some close-ups on the drawbars so we can actually show you what we're doing here. All right, so pardon the movement of the camera. Okay. So here's our drawbars, and what I've got here, this was that gospel blues setting that had all the bass and the treble, but not many. Everything in the middle is pushed in. Now here's my solo registration that I like to use this a lot. 1 and 3 are all the way out. 2 is partly in. This one I bring out to bring out the percussion. This is the 5th. Oh, sorry. So it's got bite to it, and it's got percussion. That's this. That is this setting. Now here's the comp setting that I was using. That's this dark setting, straight, no chorus, just straight, slow rotor speed on the Leslie. The Leslie's turning at a slow rotor speed. And here's the registration. 1 and 3 are out. Now, if I switch that to this setting, you see how I get more mid-range? That's because this drawbar has been pulled out. So this in gives me the dark sound, and this pulled out all the way, or almost all the way, gives me more mid-range. So that's, you have a lot of control when you're comping on just how far this thing comes out. Does it come out to here? You can hear there's a great deal of tone difference in that. And then this one, which is where I'm soloing from, that's where I like to bring out maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8, 9 won't work with the percussion going, but I like to bring 7 and 8 out for so. You can hear there's that bite, that high end to it, and then of course I can speed up my Leslie. And the rotor's turning fast, and then I slow it back down. Okay, so those are some of my. Now, if you're really rocking out, turn the vibrato chorus off. This is the vibrato chorus. So this is this sound. If I turn it off, you can hear it. So a lot of the rock settings are without vibrato chorus and maybe 4 out. Or 4 out. That's a really good pad fill sound. Or 5 out. That's a real popular setting in rock and roll. 5 out. And then if I push this in and bring these out, I brighten it up. So that's a great pop setting for filling in the studio. When you're not soloing, but you just want that fat pad sound maybe behind guitars and piano. So you just slow Leslie, and that really pretty chorale sound behind it. No vibrato chorus, and again the vibrato chorus is off, and that's a great setting for pop, for country, for rock and roll, where you want that sound. Now look what happens if I push these 2 drawbars in and I have 1 and 3 out with the highs out. That's that kind of sound that a lot of people use. It's a very light, brushy chorale sound. So, That's a great sound for background parts where you're trying to fill in with a pad. So again, some of my favorite settings are 1, 3, and 8 out. Push 8 a little bit back in, pull the second drawbar out almost to where this is, and that gives me a meaty sound without being too bright. And then if I want a solo, I might put on the vibrato chorus. If I'm going to take an organ solo, I might put that vibrato chorus on that. So I hope this has been helpful. And there's nothing like a Hammond. They're absolutely beautiful, spectacular instruments. And I hope this helps you in your endeavors on the keyboard. Thank you.